Hello booktube friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin. In this video we're going to be talking about my 26 books I would like to read in 2026. So please strap in, grab a drink, grab a snack, because this is going to be a long one. And I have a lot on my Kindle to talk about as well. First, we're going to talk about how I'm going to be rating my 26 books in 2026, as well as how I'm going to color in my puzzle heart as well as which books I'm going to be picking, and then we're going to go over the descriptions of what the books are afterwards. I decided to go with the theme of Howl's Moving Castle, since that is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films from the franchise. And I went with Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle, and this says a heart is a heavy burden. And I went with Heart Puzzle for my 26 books in 2026. I'm going to color it in by using the color key from 5 stars to 1 stars. 5 stars is I want to reread it. 4 stars is I enjoyed it but something is missing. 3, I liked it. 2 star, it was okay and I should have DNF'd it. 1 star is no thank you, was not for me. And my 26 books I would like to get to is Morning Star, Chain of Iron, This Woven Kingdom, Quicksilver, Warbreaker, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, The Return of the King, The Night of the Moth, Heaven Official Blessings, Alchemized, The Will of the Many, The Wicked King, The Bone Season, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, A Language of Dragons, A River Enchanted, Swordcatcher, Legendborn, Two Twisted Crowns, Of Dawn of Onyx, The Sword of Kagan, Heavenly Bodies, Air Awakens, Butcher's Masquerade number 5, and Binding 13. And to encourage myself, I put on the top, my Move Your Heart is going to need help to stick to this list, because I like to literally wander off my list majority of the time every year. I hope you liked the design and how it turned out, because I think it turned out really great, and I hope I can figure out another design to do for next year. For my physical books, I would like to continue the Cruel Prince series with the second book, The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is based off of Jude and her sister that get taken to the fairy realm and try to survive the fae that pretty much hate their guts. And I enjoyed the first book, and I would like to continue the series since it's a trilogy and see what the hype is up for the series. I would like to continue the Two Twisted Crown series as well. I literally just finished One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. This is about a girl named Elspeth that has a monster inside her head, and she is trying to find a cure, and for her town, and she finds a boy that was named Raven, that's one of the soldiers, and they find a bond for being betrothed to try and find all the providence cards to help end the curse that they are on. And so at the end, I really enjoyed it, so hopefully I enjoy Two Twisted Crowns. I would like to also continue the Shadowhunter series. This is technically going to be 27 books instead of 26 books, because I would like to start with Queen of Air and Darkness by Sandra Clare before getting into the second book of the Last Hour series of Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, since you're supposed to finish the Dark Artifacts before getting into Chain of Iron. And this is based off the entire Shadowhunter series, which is well warlocks, demons, and people that are have special abilities with being a Shadowhunter. And it's usually based in London or New York City, and sometimes in California, depending which branch it is for the series. I would like to get to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Everybody I know has either tried reading this or has read it and really enjoyed it. It's a reclusive Hollywood icon. Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life, but when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. And I'm curious to see what's the hype about in this book and if I will enjoy it. I tried reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'm not sure if she's for me, but I've heard good things, and I'm willing to try reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I would like to get to Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I've heard good things about this one. I believe it's about going back in time or something with King Arthur, maybe? Let's see. After her mother died in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family, memories of her childhood home, a residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. And I'm curious to get to this series because I've heard very good things about it, so hopefully I enjoy it. Another book I'd like to get to is Heaven Official's Blessings by Tan Gan Fu. This is a very popular light novel series as well as an anime. If you have Netflix, I would encourage you to watch it. This is a god fallen, a ghost risen. Born the crown prince of a prosperous kingdom, Xinglin would be known for his beauty, strength, and purity. His years of dedicated study and noble deeds allowed him to ascend to godhood. But those who rise may also fall, and fall he does, cast from the heavens and vanished to the world below. 800 years after his mortal life, Xinglin had descended to godhood for the third time, and removed most of the gods in this process to repay his debts. He is sent to the lower realms to hunt down violent ghosts and troublemaking spirits who prey on the living. Along his travels, he meets the fascinating and brilliant Zenling, a young man with whom he feels an ancient connection. Yet Zenling is clearly more than he appears. What mysteries lie behind that carefree smile? And I've heard really great things about this series, and I'm looking forward to starting it. Next one is from Rachel Gillick again. This is The Night and the Moth, and I've heard really good things about this book. And I got the special edition for Barnes & Noble. Very great design as well as great edges. Sybil Dilling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. Like the other founding girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur. And lords and common folk alike travel across the stone water kingdoms, red steppes, moors, and crangy mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. I've heard really good things about this story, as well as a funny gargoyle apparently that occurs in this story, so I'm looking forward to getting to it. Next is my Kindle reads, and I'll have to get my phone, so I'll be right back. Alright, these are not going to be in any particular order, but I would like to continue my Red Rising reading with Morning Star by Pierce Brown. Of course, this is the 3rd book in the series, so I don't want to give anything away, so I will give the description for Red Rising instead. Red Rising is about Darrow, and he's a red, a member of the lowest caste in the color-coded society's future. Like his fellow Reeds, he works all day, believing that he and his people are making the surface of Mars livable for future generations. Yet he toils willingly, trusting that his blood and sweat will one day result in a better world for his children. But Darrow and his kind have been betrayed. Soon he discovers that humanity reached its surface generations ago. Vast cities and lush wilds spread across the planet. Darrow and Rez, like him, are nothing more than slaves to a decadent ruling class. Inspired by a longing for justice and driving by the memory of lost love, Darrow sacrifices everything to infiltrate the legendary institute, a proving ground for dominant gold caste, where the next generation of humanity's overlords struggle for power. He will be forced to compete for his life and the very future of civilization against the best and most brutal of society's ruling class. There, he will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if it means he has to become one of them to do so. I have read Red Rising as well as Golden Sun, and the cliffhanger from Golden Sun makes me want to continue the series with Morning Star by Pierce Brown, and hopefully I get to it next year. The next book I would like to get to is This Woven Kingdom by Tara Maffey. I have heard of this series going around since I believe the 4th book came out, and the 5th book is coming out, I believe, next year. Tara Maffey, if you don't know, is from this, also wrote the Shatter Me series that's very popular, and I've heard both are good, but I heard This Woven Kingdom is better than Shatter Me, to what I've been going around comparing notes. This Woven Kingdom is, to all the world, Eliza is a disposable servant, not the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom forced to hide in plain sight. The Crown Prince, Cameron, has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could never have imagined that the servant girl with the strange eyes, the girl he put out of his mind, would one day soon uproot his kingdom and the world. And I'm very curious to see what this is about. I've heard it has a very good slow romance, so I'm curious to get to this series and see what I think of it. The next one I'd like to get to, I've heard so many people talk about this book, as well as the second book just came out, I believe, yesterday, and would be Brimstone. I would like to get to Quicksilver by Kaylee Hart, and I've heard mixed reviews on this book, and hopefully I will at least like it, so we'll have to see if I will enjoy it. But it's about, do not touch the sword, do not turn the key, do not open the gate. In the land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl would do for a glass of water. 24-year-old Sarah Span is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses, or the fact that she has been picking pockets and stealing from the undying queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. But a secret is like a knot. Sooner or later, it is bound to come undone. And I don't want to go anymore. I would like to go this somewhat blind, but I have heard good things about it, as well as mixed reviews on it. So I like to form my own opinion and try to read this book. And the next book I would like to get to is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I meant to read it last year, and unfortunately was not able to get to it this year. This one is about, I remember correctly, about two sisters. Their world is one in which those who die in glory return as gods to live confined to a pantheon in a Hellish capital city, and where a power known as biochromatic magic is based on essence known as breath that can only be collected one unit at a time from individual people. By using breath and drawing upon the color in everyday objects, all manner of miracles and mischief can be accomplished. It will take considerable quantities of each to resolve all the challenges facing Vanna and Seri, princesses of Idris. Suspin, the God King, lifelong god of bravery, and mysterious Basher, the Warbreaker. This actually is reminding me of the book that I'm reading right now, which is The Dagger and the Flame, and as well as the Miss Ward trilogy that Brandon Sen is really well known for. So I'm curious how I'm going to like Warbreaker. The next book is, of course, I have all 3 books on the list. If I'm going to read one, I might as well read them all. And that is the Lord of the Rings series. I'm going to read the synopsis for The Fellowship of the Ring, since that is the first book in the series. I read The Hobbit this year and really enjoyed it, and would like to continue my series with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Sauron, the Dark Lord, has gathered to him all the rings of power, the means by which he intends to rule Middle-earth. All he lacks in his plans is the One Ring. The One Ring that rules them all, which has fallen into the hands of the Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins. In a sleepy village in the Shire, young Frodo Baggins finds himself faced with an immense task as his elderly cousin Bilbo entrusts the ring to his care. Frodo must leave his home and make a perilous journey across Middle-earth to the cracks of doom, there to destroy the ring and follow the Dark Lord in his evil purpose. I am very curious to get to this book to see the difference between the movies to the books, because I have watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy many times and would like to finally get to the works of J.K. Rowling's books. And the next book I would like to get to, I've started this one, but it's 1,000 pages or so, and I'm going to challenge myself to finish it by next year, and that is Alchemized by Sen Lin. And yes, this is a Harry Potter Hermione fanfic, and it's dark fantasy, mind you, so don't think it's going to be puppies and rainbows that live. It's going to be very dark, and trigger warnings, please check them before checking this book out. In this riveting dark fantasy debut, a woman with missing memories fights to survive a war-torn world of necromancy and alchemy, and the man tasked with unearthing the deepest secrets of her past. What is it you think you're protecting in that brain of yours? The war is over, Holdfast is dead, the eternal flame extinguished, there is no one left for you to save. Once a promising alchemist, Elena Marino is now a prisoner of war and of her own mind. Her resistance friends and allies have been brutally murdered, her abilities suppressed, and the world she knew destroyed. In the aftermath of a long war, Paladine's new ruling class of corrupt guild families and depraved necromancers, whose vile undead creatures help bring about their victory, holds Elena captive. According to resistance records, she was a healer of little importance within their ranks, but Elena has inexplicably memory loss of the months leading up to her capture, making her enemies wonder, is she truly as insignificant as she appears, or are her lost memories hiding some vital piece of the resistance final gambit? And I'm very curious to get to this one, because there's so much hype around this book, since the author also wrote Manacled. The next one I'd like to get to, which is going to be probably one of the long books. I think I have like 3 or 4 books that are really long next year, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is a very chunky series, but I checked out her writing and I really enjoyed it, so I'm willing to check it out. The year is 2059. For 2 centuries, the Republic of Sin has led an oppressive campaign against unnaturalness in Europe. In London, Paige Mahoney holds a high rank in the criminal underworld, the right hand of the ruthless White Binder. Paige is a dreamwalker, a rare and unformidable kind of clairvoyant. Under same laws, she commits treason simply by breathing. When Paige is arrested for murder, she meets the mysterious founders of Son, who have designed on her upcoming abilities if she is to survive and escape. Paige must use every skill at her disposal and put her trust in someone who ought to be her enemy. And I'm very curious to get this book, because there's so many people that love this series. And the next book that I would like to get to is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. I have been wanting to get to this one and curious to see what it's all about. London, 1923. Dragons soar through the skies and protests erupt on the streets. But Vivian Featherswallow isn't worried. She's going to follow the rules, get an internship studying dragon languages, and make sure her little sister never has to risk growing up with her class. By midnight, Viv has started a civil war. With her parents arrested and her sister missing, all the safety Viv has worked for is collapsing around her. So when a lifeline is offered in the form of a mysterious job, she grabs it. Arriving at Peltier Park, Viv discovers that she has been recruited as a code breaker helping the war effort. If she succeeds, she and her family can all go home again. If she doesn't, they all die. And I'm very curious to hear about the dragon languages, because it's a very curious direction compared to other stories that I have read before, so I'm hoping to get to it. Another series that I would like to get to is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This one is very well known. Jack Chamberlain hasn't set foot on Canaan in 10 long years, content to study music at the mainland university. But when girls start disappearing from the Isle, Jack is summoned home to help find them. Enchantments run deep on Canaan's, gossip is carried by the wind, plaid shawls can be as strong as armor, and the smallest cut of a knife can instill fathomless fear. The capricious spirits that rule the Isle by fire, water, earth, and wind, by mirth in the lives of the humans who call the land home. Adria, heiress of the East, and Jack's childhood memory, knows the spirits only answer to a bard's music, and she hopes Jack can draw them forth by song, enticing them to return to missing girls. I'm very curious to see about this series since I read the Letter of Enchantment series by her, and I'm planning to draw it soon, so I'll have to see what I think of this series. The next book I would like to get to is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I have read almost all of the Shadowhunter series by her, and curious to see what this series is about. In the vibrant city state of Castelline, the richest of nobles and the most detached of criminals have one thing in common: the constant search for wealth, power, and a next hedonic thrill. Cal is an orphan, stolen from the life he knew to become the Swordcatcher, the body double of a royal heir. Prince Connor Erlin, he had been raised alongside the prince, trained in every aspect of combat and statecraft. He and Connor are as close as brothers, but Cal knows that his destiny is to die for Connor. No other future is possible. So I'm curious to see what this is about. It seems like a Prince of the Pauper type of situation, so we'll have to see what I think about it. I definitely heard mixed reviews about this series, so I am going to be going there completely blind. And the next series I'd like to get to, this is a trilogy. I've heard good things about it, and that is Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, and this is about capture the king of darkness, forced to find the light within. Oren Volondale never expected to be the brave one. All of her life to save her brothers. Now she's been taken prisoner by the most dangerous kingdom on the continent, and made to use her rare magical abilities to heal the soldiers of the vicious Honest King. Oren knows better than to face the ancient wicked woods that surround the castle on her own, which means working with a fellow prisoner might be her only path to freedom. Unfortunately, he's as infuriating as he is cunning, and seems to take twisted pleasure in playing on Oren's deepest fears. But here in Onyx Kingdom, trust is a luxury she can't afford. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. It sounds like an enemies to lovers possibly, so I'm curious to see how this is going to continue. The next book I'd like to get to is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. A mother struggling to repress her violent past, a son struggling to grasp his violent future, a father blind to the danger that threatens them all. When the winds of war reach their peninsula, will the Masuda family have the strength to defend the empire, or will they tear each other apart before the two enemies even reach their shores? This one I don't want to go too much into because I have heard a few things about it, but I want to go in completely blind. But I have heard from Ellen Wang's stories from multiple reviews, and they sound so good. I would like to finally get to Heavenly Bodies by Imani Uru, and I've heard so many things about this, and the idea of celestial beings and everything else really intrigues me. You know the most dangerous kind of villain? A woman with nothing left to lose. In a world ruled by the cruel and merciless stars, Ara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but that it will kill them both. So when already star wrath, war, and chaos descends to wreak havoc on Alara's kingdom, she flees her home, the kingdom of night, for the neighboring Ella's kingdom of light, and strides straight into the arms of an enemy prince. Fearing that Reddy might turn his sights to Alice next. Prince Lorenzo is forced to train Ella as a weapon, one worthy of battling against the eternal reign of the stars. But there are shadows even within the kingdom of light, and they threaten to reveal the darkness in Lorenzo's past, and the ancient magic that slumbers in Ella's veins. And with it all comes an undeniable star-crossed pull between Ella and Lorenzo that neither can seem to resist. I'm curious if this one, because a lot of people have reviewed this book and said it is good. I'm looking forward to get to Air Awakens by Elise Koba. This one reminds me of Avatar Less Airbender, so I've been wanting to read it. A library princess, a sorcerer prince, and an unbreakable magic bond. The Solid Empire is one conquest away from uniting the continent, and the rare elemental magic in 17-year-old library princess Bella Yarl could shift the tides of war. Bella has always been taught to fear the towers of sorcerers. A mysterious magic society has been happy in her quiet world of books, where after she not only saved the life of one of the most powerful sorcerers of them all, the Crown Prince Eldrick, she finds enticed into his world. Now she must decide her future, embrace her sorcery and live the life she's known, or eradicate her magic and remain as she has always been. And with probable forces lurking in the shadows, relevant decision could cost her more than she has ever imagined. And I have read things about Elise Koba. She also did Arcane Academy that I'm wanting to read as well. We'd like to get to Barrel of Gods and The Butcher's Masquerade as well, which is from the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And of course, I can't explain to you the 4th and 5th book of Dungeon Crawler Carl because that would be massive spoilers. But I will go in the description of Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is about a man, his ex-girlfriend's cat, a statistic game show, unlike anything in the universe, a dungeon crawl where survival depends on killing your prey in the most entertaining way possible. In a flash, every human eradicated construction on Earth, from Buckingham Palace to the tiniest of sheds, collapses in a heap, sinking to the ground. The buildings and all the people inside have all been atomized and transformed into the dungeon. An 18-level labyrinth filled with traps, monsters, and loot. A dungeon so enormous it circles the entire globe. And this series has been quite entertaining, as well as wondering who's going to survive this dangerous crawl of a dungeon. And I am planning to read the 4th book hopefully next month to get to The Butcher's Masquerade that is on my list to read for 26 books. So hopefully I can get to it. And then I believe this is my last book, which is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This one has been everywhere, and I've heard very mixed reviews, and that you should look up trigger warnings before reading this series. Johnny Kibbage is a definition of popular. He's an all-star rugby player with loads of friends, which means he should be enjoying the many perks of his life. But what people don't know is that he has been dealing with a painful injury that could halt the magnificent tragedy of his career. This means he has no time for distractions or mistakes, especially not a girlfriend. Shannon Lynch has been bullied all her life. She is shy and would rather hide herself away to make it through school. But when she arrives at Tom in college for a fresh start, she meets the notorious Johnny Kibbage on her first date in a not-so-romantic way. What follows is a complicated friendship that turns into an undeniable chemistry. It seems that Shannon will be able to hold on to the anonymous status she once hoped for. But maybe that's not right. Johnny won't give up on Shannon, no matter what it might cost them both. And curious to see my opinion on this series, since I've heard so many people talk about it. So hopefully I can get to Binding 13. And with that, those are all the books that I want to read in 2026. All 26 books. Very long and hopefully very enjoyable read I will get to for the next year. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you have any books on your list that I have, and let me know what is your list for 2026 as well. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.